So I'm going to start out with a question, and we'll end with questions too, but who can tell me where the word mentor comes from? There's a prize. Anybody want to give it a shot? Really? And Catherine, you don't remember? Ooh, what is Cheryl saying? A Greek god. Okay, well, I'm going to give Catherine, since I put her on the spot, So the story of Mentor, I'll get you a t-shirt later, Cheryl. Really. The story of Mentor is that you all remember the story of Odysseus, who had to go off and fight in the Trojan War and left Penelope weaving and left his son Telemachus. And Telemachus, his father was gone. His father, the king, was gone. And Mentor was Telemachus's teacher, was in charge of preparing him to take over that leadership position, of preparing him to become king. And Odysseus was gone for a long time. And at some point, the young man said, I have to go find my father. And he went off to find Odysseus. And in his journeys, of course, he ran into trouble. And it was the goddess Diana, so there is a Greek god connection. No, Athena, sorry. Athena turned herself into Mentor and appeared to him to help him along the way. And I like to tell this story because mentoring has gotten a lot of attention in the last few years, but it really emphasizes that this is an ancient concept. And from the Greeks, from the ancient Greeks, we have recognized the importance of that role of someone who plays the role of being a guide, of being a teacher, of being a source of support for someone who will become a leader. And I also love that little touch about Athena because it reminds us of the divinity of that role, that it's very special and, in fact, divine to be a mentor. So with that, let me talk to you about what we're doing at East Bay Mud in terms of mentoring. What's really important is to recognize that it's a part of a larger workforce development program. I'm going to provide some background and perspective and talk to you a little bit about the programs that mentoring is a part of, but I'm going to go through that pretty quickly so that we can focus on the mentoring and coaching relationships, the actual mentoring program, and the lessons learned. A little bit about East Bay Mud. We're a special district serving Alameda and Contra Costa counties, and that's east of San Francisco Bay, in case you don't know that. We serve 1.3 million customers and provide wastewater treatment to 640,000 customers. We have a little over 1,800 full-time employees. As I said, I'm going to put our mentoring program in perspective in a larger context in terms of our workforce development efforts. Our mentors and coaches provide support and accountability. They reinforce the formal learning that's going on in the classrooms, and they provide a way of support the transmission of organizational knowledge and values. Very quickly, the drivers, when Jennifer had the drivers up there for her presentation, I looked at that long list and I said, we could have that very same list. So we had the same drivers, but the biggest one is looking at these numbers. When we started out our workforce development efforts and did the analysis, and we looked at those numbers, and wow, 65% of our field supervisors could retire in the next 5 years. That got some attention. And it really helped in getting the attention of the department, that's for sure. So the important thing about that is that it made very clear where we should start out as a focus. And our first academy was focused on developing first-line supervisors. Our second, we had a couple of those academies, which we call LEAD, and then we did an academy that was focused on developing superintendents. So this is where that focus comes from. I'm not going to talk too much about this. This is, you can refer to it. This is the approach we used in developing the academies and identifying the gaps and trying to fill in the gaps. We have since FY04 developed 3 academies, and they go from that first-line supervisory, so taking journey-level people, trying to prepare them for first-line supervisory positions, all the way then superintendent level, mid-level, and then all the way to the Management and Leadership Academy, which is focused on developing division managers and directors. They share common objectives, which is basically to develop a pool of qualified candidates. We do hire through a civil service process. We're not promising anybody any jobs, but we're trying to develop a pool of qualified candidates. Along that way, as part of that process, we are developing a culture where everyone sees development as part of their responsibility, and we are addressing changing expectations for leaders. These are some of the desired outcomes from the academy. Again, I'm going to, and the structure for the academy, I'm going to go by this. You can refer to it later. Some of the academy components. An important part of it is that we are working in a cohort group, so people are developing supportive relationships with each other. There's a core training curriculum. They're required to create development plans, and then the mentoring and coaching component. And that mentoring and coaching component provides the essential support that's really important to really have leadership development. We provide ongoing support for the mentors, and we really celebrate the graduation. We celebrate the end, the closing, both for the participants and for the mentors. Whoops. Okay, I think, let's see. I talked about the importance of having in leadership development, one of the key components besides having development assignments and classroom training, et cetera. One of the key components is providing the support, because that's what allows people to take the risk, to start seeing themselves and what they're capable of in a new way, to be willing to try different things and maybe make mistakes. It's the supportive component that the mentors provide. So the mentors are supporting the participants' goals. They are creating, they're encouraging accountability and helping participants learn the importance of accountability and being responsible for themselves, for their own careers, for taking the steps to develop their careers, and also broader accountability and responsibility within their work. Mentoring doesn't involve evaluation, and that's part of the beauty of it and the way that they can provide support. We don't match mentors with people in the chain of command. So you can provide feedback to someone with, and taking that edge off it that comes when it's someone who's your supervisor or your manager. And one of the beauties of it is that it creates a learning pipeline for everyone. Mentors learn too. So they learn to see the world from a fresh perspective. They learn about different parts of the organization. So both sides are growing, and there's definitely wonderful rewards to that. Right? Why? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Wrong finger.